Welcome, my dear learners. Remember, we are still on algebraic expression, and in today's lesson, we shall be looking at expansion of algebra. Now, when we talk about expansion of algebra, it is a method of removing brackets from an expression. Now, in expansion, the number outside the bracket is used to multiply the individual term within the bracket. So let's take it that you have A bracket B plus C. Now, in removing this bracket, we are going to expand the bracket. So what we are going to do is that we are going to use the number or the variable outside the bracket to multiply the individual factors or terms within the bracket. So we are going to get A times B plus A times what? C. And this gives us AB plus what? AC. Also, when you have, let's say, 2 bracket, let's say 3x plus, let's say, 4y, and then we have to expand the bracket. Okay, we are going to use the number outside the bracket to multiply the individual terms within the bracket. So we are going to get 2 times what? 3x plus 2 times what? 4y. So we have 2 times 3x will give us 6x, and then 2 times 4y will give us what? 8y. That is how we expand bracket. We are going to use the number outside the bracket to multiply the individual terms within the brackets. So let's take more examples and then see how we can apply it. So we have these few examples. Let's go through them. So we have the first one, example A. We have A minus 2 bracket B minus 3C. So we have to expand. Okay, expand and then simplify. We have to expand and then we simplify. So in expansion, we say that the number outside the bracket is going to multiply the individual terms within the bracket. So these two is going to multiply this and then that. So we are having A minus 2 times B. So let me make some big brackets so that I'll do it like this. Then we have 2, we have minus 2 times what? 3C. So we have A minus 2 times B give us what? 2B minus 2 times 3C will give us what? 6C. Now we have a negative outside the bracket sign, so we have to expand the negative also. So we are going to get A. Then we have minus times minus will give us positive, negative, negative, 4. So it gives us what? 6C. So we are done. So we have the number outside the bracket is going to multiply the individual terms within the bracket. So we have 2 times B, then minus 2 times what? 3C. Then we multiply 2 times B give us 2B, minus 2 times 3C will give us what? 6C. But we have a negative also outside the bracket here. So you have to expand the negative also because it is affecting those within the bracket. So you have negative times 2B will give us negative 2B. Negative times negative will give us positive, and then 6C. Very, very easy. Now let's take the next example. So we have example P. So we are going to follow the same method. We are going to use a number outside the bracket to multiply the individual terms within the bracket. So we are going to get 3 times what? 6b. Then we have minus 3 times what? 9a. Then move on to this very side. We have plus 7 times what? 6a minus 7 times what? 5b. So we simplify. 3 times 6 will give us what? 3 6 18. And then we have b. Minus 3 9 27. Then we have a. Plus 6 times 7 will give us what? 42. We have a. Then we have 7 times 5 will give us what? 35. And then we have b. So we have to simplify. So we are at the point of what? Addition and subtraction of algebraic expression. So as we learned in our previous lesson, we are going to group what? The like terms together. So we have a and a, so we can group what? Them together. So we have 42a minus what? 27a. And then we have b and then what? B. So we are going to get plus 18b minus what? 35b. So what we are going to do is that we have 42a minus 27a. We are going to group the numbers together, we subtract them, and then we attach one of the variables to it. So we are going to get 42 minus what? 27. We attach one of the variables to it. And then we have 18 minus what? 35. And we attach one of the variables. So we have 42 minus 27 gives us what? It gives us 15, right? And then we have a. And then 18 minus 35 will give us minus what? 17. And then we have b. Very, very easy. Now you can pause the video and then try your hands on this very part. Pause the video, you try your hands on example C. So we have to expand and then simplify. So already we don't have any number outside the bracket, or so we have 1. 1 times the numbers within the bracket are still the same terms within the bracket. So we are still going to get 5m plus what? 3m. But we are having a negative outside the bracket, so we have to expand to move the bracket. Negative 1, there's 1 here, okay, so negative 1 times 2m will give us what? Minus 2m. Negative 1 times negative n will give us what? Positive n. Nege, we have positive. Negative times negative will give you positive. Negative times positive will give us negative. Positive times positive will give us what? Positive. Take note of that. So we are going to simplify. We have 5m, 2m. They are like terms, so you can group them together. 5m minus what? 2m. And then we have plus 3n plus n. 5m minus 2m will give us what? 3m. And then this one also give us what? 4n. Very, very easy. Try your hands on the last example, okay? So we are moving on to binomial expansion. Binomial expansion. Now, bi means what? 2. So when you have any expression which contains 2 terms, then we can say that those terms are binomial. An example is, let's say, a plus b, x plus y, 4x plus or minus, let's say, 2y. So when we talk about binomial expansion, it is an art of removing brackets from binomials. So when you have, let's say, a plus b multiplying x plus y, this is called binomial expansion. So the art of removing the brackets from these two binomials is what we term as what? Binomial expansion. Now in binomial expansion, what we are going to do is that we are going to disintegrate the first bracket and we multiply each term within the first bracket. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to break the first bracket down and then we are going to use each term within the first bracket to multiply the second bracket. Then we use the other term to multiply the whole of the second bracket. So we are going to get a multiplying the whole of what? X plus y, and then plus b multiplying the whole of what? The second bracket. This is how we are going to expand two binomials. Similarly, when you have, let's say, 2x plus, let's say, y multiplying, let's say, 6a plus, let's say, 2b. So we are going to use this term to multiply the whole of the second bracket, and then we use the second term to multiply the whole of the second bracket. So we are going to get 2x multiplying the whole of the first bracket, we have 6a plus 2b. Then we have plus y multiplying the whole of the second bracket, we have 6a plus what? 2b. And then we expand and then we simplify. So let's take examples and then see how we can apply them. So we are to expand and simplify the following algebraic expression or binomial expansion. We are to expand this following. So we have our first example. We have p minus what? 3. And then we have p minus what? A. So what we are going to do is that we are going to use the p to multiply the whole of the second bracket. So we are going to get p multiplying the whole of the second bracket. And then we use the second term, which is minus 3, to multiply the whole of the second bracket also. Then we expand and simplify. P times p will give us what? P squared. Minus p times minus 8 will give us what? Minus 8p. Then we have minus 3 times p will give us what? 3p. Negative 3 times negative 8. Negative will give us what? Positive. And then 3 times 8 will give us what? 24. Then we group like terms and then we simplify. We have p and then p, so we can group them. So we have p squared, then we have 8p minus what? 3p will give us what? Minus what? 11p. Good. And then this gives us what? 24. We are done. Very, very easy and then simple. Let's take the next example. So we have b, we have 2a plus b multiplying a plus 2b. Following the same method, we are going to use the 2a to multiply the whole of the second bracket, and then we are going to use the b to multiply the whole of the second bracket. So we are going to get 2a multiplying A plus what? 2b. Then we have plus b multiplying a plus what? 2b. So we expand the bracket. We expand to remove the bracket. 2a times a will give us what? 2a what? Squared indices. Then 2a plus 2b will give us what? 2 times 2 will give us 4. And then we have what? ab. b times a will give us what? ab. Plus b times 2b will give us what? 2b squared. So we group like terms and then we simplify. We have ab here, ab here, so we can group them and then we simplify. We also have a squared. Okay, we don't have another a squared, it is rather b squared. So we have 2a squared plus what? 2b squared, and then we group the like terms. 4ab plus ab gives us what? 5ab. And then we are done. Very, very easy and then simple. Pause the video, you try your hands on this very example. Okay, good. So we have example C. We have x minus root of what? 2 multiplying x plus what? Root of 2. So applying the same method, we are going to use x to multiply the whole of this bracket and minus root 2 to multiply the whole of this bracket. So we are going to get x multiplying the whole of this bracket, x plus root of what? 2. And then we use the second term, which is minus root of 2, to multiply the whole of this bracket. So we have x plus what? Root of 2. So we expand the bracket. X times x will give us what? X squared indices. Then we have x times root of 2 will give us plus x root of what? 2. Then we move on to the second bracket, minus root 2 times x will give us what? X root 2. And then minus root 2 times positive root 2 give us minus root 2 all squared. We have learned that in sets. So we are going to get x squared plus x root 2 minus x root 2. Now the square will cancel the radical sign. We are left with what? 2. Good. Now you know that x root 2 minus x root 2 will cancel. So we are left with what? X squared minus what? 2. So we have x squared minus 2. Very, very easy and then simple. Now with the same example, we realize that this is difference of two squares. So you don't have to go through the stress of expanding. We have difference of two squares. So whenever you have difference of two squares, the simple method is to take the negative part, you square the individual term within. So we are going to square x and then we square the root of 2. So we are going to get x squared minus what? Root of 2 squared. So we have x squared, the 2 cancel the radical sign, we are left with 2. And then we are done. Very, very easy and then simple. Pause the video, you try your hands on this very path. This brings us to the end of today's lesson. I'm going to give you some tutorial questions. You pause the video, you try your hands on it. So these are tutorial set questions. Pause the video, you write them down, you try your hands on it. This brings us to the end of today's lesson. See you next week. Bye-bye.